We welcome you to Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University, where tonight it is the Nassau Conference 2 semifinals featuring the third-seeded Pirates of Mepham coming in at 7-2 against the second-seeded Generals of MacArthur at 8-1. It is the Orland and Cone game of the week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Mike Spina. We're so thankful that you're able to join us and stay up late. It's been a long day here at Hofstra for those who have been here for all 4 games. Others, like myself, like you, we were at other games coming here. But game 4 of the night, I think it should be a really good one. It's 2 teams that certainly have been on the heels of Garden City. Look, Garden City is clearly the top dogs. They've proven that, but these 2 teams right behind them, you look back at the regular season matchup, and it was the high watermark in terms of points, Mike, for MacArthur in that one, a 47-21 win. But a lot of the things that happened with Mepham when we spoke to their head coach, Anthony Krakow, it was outliners. Like, it wasn't, they made mistakes they didn't make the rest of the year. Since that game, they changed things defensively, and they were they left the field angry that day. They were waiting for another chance, and they get it here on a big stage.
Oh, absolutely. It's their revenge game. A lot of teams, they play each other during the regular season. These teams know each other very, very well. And, basically what he said was, we're excited for a second chance to get a crack at the Generals.
Let's take a look at our impact players. First for the visitors. As there you see the head coach, Anthony Krakow, 14th season. He's a Belmar JFK grad. He kind of was quiet about that because he's a Mepham guy, but he joked. It was fun. Impact player from Mepham. We got to look at the quarterback position. They've had some really good ones at Mepham over the years. You remember, of course, a few years ago, Tyler Davis now playing in the league, in the NFL, and Nick Honorkamp is the latest of these group. Maybe not the greatest, but he's part of that sort of Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. You see the numbers. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's rushed for 680. He came in last spring from St. Anthony's. He's a very good QB, and he's got a lot of really good athletes around them as well.
Yeah, he made a nice transition coming from St. Anthony's, and, he started off a little slow. You got to remember, he transferred in the day before the season started in the spring. So it took him time to get adjusted, but he's adjusted very well, as you can see by his stats. 1,017 yards, 13 touchdowns. And he runs the ball real well, too, having rushed for 680 yards and 17 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a combination of 30 touchdowns there by Honorkamp. That's legit. From MacArthur, a lot of guys to choose from. There's a lot of Napolis to choose from as well. We're going to go with number 40, James Napoli, and we'll get to him in a second as we kick off. It's Mepham fielding it. The Nassau Conference 2 semifinals. Game 2 is underway. Return goes to about the 40, and Napoli, we mentioned just a moment ago, right? He's our impact player from MacArthur. He's a guy, he's going to start the game as a wide receiver, but he's not going to really see a lot of time there. There you see the stats this year, 177 carries, over 1,000 yards. That first matchup, by the way, he was an absolute beast. 34 carries for 246 and 4 touchdowns against Mepham. He's certainly a guy they've got to key on if you are Mepham to try to stop. But first they are on offense. Mepham 1st and 10 from their own 40. And there's Honorkamp calling his own number, blasting out to midfield. A big run on first down. Let's take a look at those starters offensively for Mepham. As we often do, we'll show you the big boys up front first. We've got Messina, Goldstein, Ward, Rivera, and Perry. Honorkamp at QB, Thayer at running back. Your wide receivers are Mulqueen, Novello, Dunn, and Cuccinella.
And you see they're going no huddle right now, trying to make it a fast tempo game. Not letting MacArthur's defense adjust.
We'll get you those defensive starters after this next play. Honorkamp, he's got a nice burst when he gets to the secondary. He gets out inside of MacArthur's side of the field. Let's look at those starters defensively for MacArthur. Generals, again, coming in 8-1. Up front, you've got Cullen and Fundaro as your Edge guys, Clarkson and Smith. Interior linebackers are Weber, Lagazzo, Larkin, and Sean Napoli. Corners are James Hagel and Rocco Hogan, and Matt Papak is your safety. Another first down run for Hanekamp, 1st and 10 from the MacArthur 49-yard line. Just underway here in the Nassau Conference 2 semifinals. And we've got a flag on the play. Let's get a chance to meet our referee today. It is Russell Canty. And this one goes against Mepham.
Delay a game on the second play of the game, third play of the game. You know, a little odd because they are going no huddle. I guess they took a little bit too much time looking at what the defense is doing and calling a play. Very unusual to happen early in a game. A little surprised.
Yeah, I think both of these teams will show you different looks defensively, and we could speak as when Mepham goes on defense, just sort of the plan. Here comes some pressure. Good job dumping out of that. This is a first down run and more. How about this one? To the house. Touchdown, Mepham. So the pressure came, but then it didn't matter. Ryan Thier, the short catch and a lot of yak afterwards. Mepham takes the early 6-0 lead.
Great call. They ran a little bit of a screenplay here. If you watch the replay, he blocks. He just leaks out to the left. Great job blocking. Yeah, almost Pat Mahomes style. Yeah. But here's the key, the downfield blocking. You know, the wide receivers have made a great job, and that's actually one of the linemen down there at the 5-yard line leading them in.
Yeah, it looks like 58, right? Brian Goldstein. So the perfect start, the PAT, oof, off the bar. Anthony Magliaccio. So stay here. Fast start from Mepham early on. And again, we mentioned, you know, that MacArthur loss. Anthony Krakow, their head coach, says, look, we were running the ball well the opening drive. We ran a naked boot, though, and kind of at that point, everything that could go wrong did go wrong on that play. Ended up throwing a pick, and then MacArthur, as they do, a long, methodical drive, right? They score, and now you're kind of, you play catch-up, so you try to play faster maybe than you want to, and just it was like a lot of things that went wrong that haven't normally gone wrong. He said, look, it was like an outlier for us. We've done a good job protecting the ball all year, but as you do, right? As coaches, as teams, you learn from a defeat, and then you grow from it, and that's what Mepham has done from that early season loss to MacArthur.
Well, if you want to try to erase the memory of a loss like that, do you get a better way of starting with a screen pass that goes almost 55 yards for a touchdown? I mean, you couldn't script that any better. Except for the penalty, you just couldn't script it any better. Now you're playing with the lead, which they weren't doing in the first game, and
right.
You know, they feel good about themselves. MacArthur has to get a drive right now, establish that they're in this game and not let it go the other way.
A driven, angled kick that looks like it will go. Yes, it will go out of bounds. So most likely MacArthur will take the field position, and they are led by their quarterback, Ryan Muller. Now, it's a much different situation in terms of quarterbacks. Muller is a guy who doesn't throw the ball very often. You're not asked to, right, as a MacArthur starting QB. In fact, on the year, he's only 28 of 55 or 58 for 464. I think in some games that's a game for you guys at Massapequa, or maybe more for Blount, right, at Oceanside. But that's a season number for Ryan Muller. It's the system that Bobby Fehrenbach runs. He's run it for many, many years in his 23rd year as head coach. It looks like, yeah, they will actually have them kick the ball off again. There you see Napoli is deep. And he's a guy, we'll see him in a lot of different situations. He'll be out on defense. He's a kick returner, does a little bit of everything for the Generals. And obviously, look, you want to get him the ball and space, and what a better situation kind of, right, than a kickoff where you have got a lot of space to get a little steam behind you.
Yeah, well, he's a tough runner. I mean, you know, as Coach says, he's a good runner. He's shifty. And how did he say? He's number 40 Napoli.
Yeah, fair. There's 3 Napolis, so he doesn't go by first names. He just calls him Number Napoli. Insert Number Napoli is kind of how it goes. That's a little bit of a squibber, and it's fielded. That's a good return for MacArthur. So instead of getting the ball, at the 35, you get 5 more yards out of it, and now Muller will bring his offense onto the field. So he was a 2-year starter. Last year it was Jack Butler's job, and they kind of alternated number 6 here for MacArthur. But in that game at GC, Butler sustained an injury, which meant Muller was the guy. He took over as a full-time starter then, played great. They ran the ball a lot last year as well, but he does make plays when you need him to. So that's the thing about MacArthur is, yeah, you're going to pack the box, you're going to expect the run, but you've also got to realize they can throw the football as well. And you see Napoli at the bottom of your screen. This is what we were saying before. We'll show you the starters offensively after this play, lining up to start as a wideout. We don't expect to see him there a lot. And look at this, almost like a goal situation or needing a 3rd and 1 as Muller just pushes forward. Let's show you those starters offensively for MacArthur. And again, as we do, the big guys up front, Clarkson, Lozito, Shapiro, and Clarkson as well. The twins up front. Tefano rounds it out up front. Muller is your QB. Vinny Fondaro, the fullback. Receivers again, as you start the game, Napoli and Paypack. Tight ends, double tights for MacArthur, Malau, and Cullen. And look at this. Muller goes deep. A little bit of contact there as well. No call. And like we just said, right? They don't throw it often, and suddenly, second play, you go deep.
Yeah, low play action, just running a go route off the ace look, quick flash flake. He just overthrows him a little bit. I tell you, it's an interesting because when you have guys up front, 270, 220, 220, you're going to want to run behind them. And, Coach Fehrenbach's been doing this for years. And why fix what's not broken? He's run the ball. That's his system, and he's made it work. I mean, he has a chance to be in the county championship, for the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, and to face their rivals, Garden City, there as well. Trips left, 3rd and 8 from the 42. And this is kind of what you want to do if you are Mepham. You want to get them, force them into a throwing situation, and there you go. It's incomplete by Muller, and we expect to see the punting unit on. So if you are on that opposite sideline and you're Anthony Crocco and his coaching staff, you've got to say, job well done on those first 2 possessions, right? You score on yours, and you hold MacArthur 3 and out. Now, not only do they not score, but they don't run the clock like MacArthur does. It wasn't a 23-play drive, right? They go 3 and out, and they've got to punt the football.
Yeah, that's exactly what the script would say. Score early, stop them on 3 and out, get the ball back, score again. That's their motto today. And right now, the script is going as planned for Mepham.
Matt Sarney to punt. It's a good snap. He's got some time. Goes end over end. And it will take a big MacArthur bounce. Downed inside the 15-yard line.
It's a 46-yard punt. That's a good job right there by the punter.
Sarney also does some kicking as well from MacArthur. So now here comes Mepham. A lot of confidence for these guys. And again, they come in an angry, a determined group. And those are always kind of the more dangerous sides, especially when you, like you said, when you lose in the regular season and you felt you didn't play your best and you hurt yourself. Obviously, coming to the big stage of Hofstra-Stewart Stadium, no better opportunity to kind of redeem yourself.
I've been here 36 years as a coach, and I've seen a lot of crazy things happen in this place.
Hunter Kemp. 1st and 10 from his own 14. He will also go in the air. This one is a deep throw. It's picked off, though, at the 42. James Hagel, the INT. How about this? That is his 5th interception of the year against Mepham, not of the season. That's only against one team. He had 4 in week 1 in that regular season game.
Yeah, that's just an amazing. It looked like it was a stop and go, and it just looked like he either overthrew his inside receiver or he underthrew his outside receiver.
One of those by Hagel in that first game returned for 100 yards.
Game changer.
Stay away from 11. So we flipped the field. MacArthur back on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. There's a handoff and a good gain on 1st down. We didn't get a chance before. Let's show the defense for Mepham. Up front, you've got Norris and Goldstein at the ends. Lojadisi and Rivera at your tackles. Gampero, Thier, Morris, backers. Mulqueen and Cuccinella corners. Novello and Horacio at safeties. And look at that. There is that defensive pressure that we were talking about. And again, it's a personal situation right now for Mepham. That was Brendan Morris, the senior linebacker. He started the year. So that's one of the changes, Mike. He started the year in the defensive line. Part of the switch kind of after that loss to MacArthur, you recognized a few different things. They thought he'd be better at linebacker, and he's certainly answered that bell. 27 tackles on the year before that one there.
Well, he's only 185 pounds, so he is a little bit light to be playing on a line, and he has very good feet, and that was evident by the way he filled that time.
3rd and 7 from the 38-yard line. Rushing it to the outside, and a good gain on 1st down. And that was Runyon, sorry.
Yeah, and you see Mepham got back to what they do best. They coming back power eye, stack eye, and now they're running straight out. Instead of having to run, trips and throw the ball. This is what MacArthur wants to do. They want to line up and play old school football and mash you, punch you right in the face.
4th and 1. And this is what, when you've got those big dudes up front and you're a running team, that's what you do on a 4th down. They push forward. They get the yards they need to move the chains.
They push forward. They push behind. Watch. Look at the fullback right there.
Fundaro, right?
Yeah, Fundaro just aiding a little bit. Old school. Not going to see that called in a Nassau County semifinal game.
So fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 from the 29. Again, this is all coming off of that interception by Hagel. Under center is Muller. Pitch. A little shimmy to the outside. That was Napoli. James Napoli, 40. And that's where we expect to see him more often than not, out of the backfield, catching the ball into space and trying to do some damage.
Sure, and that time, instead of running their wishbone, they just move their fullback in their sniffer outside. And then when they do that, most of the time they're going to be running outside. They're looking to get an edge on the Mepham defense. But to Mepham's credit, they came up nice, filled it for no gain.
Yeah, 2nd and 10. And again, defensively, Mepham thrown a few different looks. There's Napoli again, cuts it inside, but again, a short gain for Napoli. And that's part of what Krakow said, just, dealing with MacArthur and sort of what to expect. And he said, look, we're a vastly different team than the one that they played or that they lost in week 4. We mentioned, right, they were angry coming off the field. They took it personally the way they played defensively. They're not that kind of team. They don't put up those kind of, they don't concede those kind of points. There's Napoli, nowhere to go. And again, it was Thier, it looks like this time, 32, stuffing the run.
Yeah, he's just reading the fullback, and he's just filling the hole very hard. And you see Mepham's coming with 8 and 9 men in the box right now, and at some point MacArthur's going to have to run a play action and try to hit one of those plays.
Thier, 46 tackles on the season, 3 for losses, 2 forced fumbles on the year, 5'11", 215. The way that we saw him run there, that's the way he runs also on offense. 4th and 9. And now Muller will go in the air, and again, it's overthrown. So you see the excitement on the far sideline by Mepham, and again, you have a turnover, but then you flip it around and you turn it over the other way. And I think when you've got a team that has that sort of singular identity like MacArthur does, you want to put them in third and fourth and long situations. Yes, Muller has passed the ball, but you want to force him to pass the ball.
Yeah, you want to take away the running game, try to make them one-dimensional as much as possible. If you're going to get beat by them throwing the ball.
So now Mepham, a terrific first drive, stalled out on the second on an interception. Honorkamp, hands off, running on the left side is Dylan Dunn. Dunn, little scat back kind of a guy, right? Looks a little bit like a lot of those Oceanside guys do in Conference 1. He's 5'4", 135, but Dunn got those legs moving and cut it to the outside. Nice gain by the junior.
Yeah, watch the blocking downfield. You see a good stalk block, although Rocco Hogan, he does a nice job coming off one stalk,
another one
then
right there,
two, and he actually makes the tackle with an assist, from Matt Papak, but that's great downfield blocking.
Well, somebody downfield didn't do a great job because it was a holding penalty called on that. So those are often drive killers because Dunn does all that work. You mentioned guys upfield blocking, but someone there held, so it's back inside the 20 now. Inside handoff. You see 79 there, Sal Orlando. That's a big dude there for MacArthur, 6'4", 320. I ask Fehrenbach, as I do with every player, kind of like, hey, what do you like about them? He says, well, Orlando's 6'4", 320. What's not to like, right? Like he's especially in the middle, right, of your defense at a D tackle spot as a run stopper. You like a guy like that as well. We expect to see him possibly too on some sets as a fullback, but not. I was excited. I wanted to see him run the football just as a blocker. I was hoping for a fridge. Yeah, 100%. I didn't lobby. I probably should have lobbied for that. Honorkamp in the air. Finds a man, cutting inside. And this is where, again, Mepham is so dangerous. There's so many different weapons. That was Cuccinella, 20. And Honorkamp does a really good job of sharing the wealth, right? So he can go to Thier, Mulqueen, Novello especially, and Cuccinello in this situation.
Yeah, that's just a great route, getting behind the linebackers, right in front of the safety. Now it's 3rd down and 4, so it's manageable for this. And you see they're using a lot of different formations here. Trying to confuse MacArthur a little bit.
And Honorkamp trying, too, with the hard count to maybe draw them offside.
And you don't see this often. 5 hands down for MacArthur's defense. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that. So all that time you're trying to draw the defense offside, and on that left side of the line, it might have been Messina moved. See, if we had a telestrator, we could kind of circle right there at the top of that line.
Well, if you watch his steps, you could see he was running towards the outside, so they were looking to get outside, and that's why you see the 2 running backs offset. Instead of behind the center, they're offset. They're over the tackle and over the guard and over the tackle. So they were going to look to either run a quarterback sweep or some kind of bounce play. So that, where they're lining up is almost telling you where they're going to run right now.
3rd and 8 from the 30. Honorkamp dumps it off. There's Thier, and a good tackle there, and that's Hagel again, 11. And that was a dangerous player, Thier, because, again, you get him in the space. Big physical guy, too, and he can hurt you, but Hagel does a great job on the tackle, and now it's forcing Mepham to punt the football.
And he's made an impact in this game, Hagel. He's got the interception already. He's got a first down saving tackle on that where he had a lot of room there. So he's already made 2 great plays in the last 2 drives.
Novello back to punt. It's James Napoli, the lone deep man for MacArthur. Look out. They're attacking that. Good job by Novello to get it off Will it take a big bounce for Mepham? It does. It's down at about the 31-yard line. That's where MacArthur's offense will look to continue or look to get going. It's a slow start for MacArthur, and I think the thing, too, about MacArthur, if you are Mepham, is because they're so methodical in their drives, they're a team, it's hard to get into a big deficit, right, when you're so methodical. So that's something that I'm sure Mepham wants to try to exploit if they can. You know, let's say you get out to a 3-score lead, right? That's going to be tough now for a MacArthur who often needs 12, 13, 14 plays to march down the field.
It's feast or famine. If you're in a lead, this is a great offense because you just chew up the clock, chew up yardage. If you're behind, it's not a big strike offense. So then it's hard to come back if you get down 2 or 3 scores.
1st and 10 from the 31. Muller hands off. That's Napoli, and I'll tell you, Mepham has done their homework, certainly. How many hats to the football, Mike, did you see there? At least 3.
But the first one was Thier, Ryan Thier again. You know, whatever his read is right now, he's got it because he's right on the ball carry before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Kind of loving that matchup, right? That one-on-one, a little bit of Napoli versus Thier. Thier got him for a TFL there, so 2nd and 11 from the 30. This time Muller in shotgun, and here comes the pressure, and there he dumps it off. Great upfield block, and a really fantastic tackle as well from behind. Getting out to the 40 was Fondaro.
What a great pancake block by James Clarkson. I mean, if you can see this on the screen, he just absolutely pancakes on the screenplay the defender from Mepham.
Listen, it's late here. IHOP's 24 hours, so
Hey.
Here you go. Watch it again. Right there. And that creates the space, allowing him to get out to the 40 for obviously a much more manageable 3rd and 1, but that'll be the final play of a fast-moving first quarter. So Mepham gets out to an early 6-0 lead. That's where we are in this Nassau Conference 2 semifinal. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Hofstra. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina. Mike is right. It's my bad. I mentioned IHOP. It's a long day at Hofstra. Now we're looking for pancakes late at night. The last time he and I were on a call today, we had a Holy Trinity game. Great kid there on their defense, Chris Bacon, talked about bacon, so now it's bacon and pancakes. And
it's always about food with us.
Kind of see where it went, right? So
I guess my eating disorder is coming out right now. Obsessive eating. Here we go. We need a sponsor.
Well, yeah. You mean like in terms of the broadcast or like for help?
For food.
3rd and 1 for MacArthur. There's that push. And, again, you got those big dudes up front. Great job by Mepham kind of matching it. This will be an interesting spot, Mike.
Well, the side judge, it looks like Paul Rupp ran in holding his fist up saying fourth down. Like he wasted no time coming in with his fist saying fourth down. And you see it is fourth down.
And you got to think MacArthur's going to do the same thing.
Well, they're going to go for it.
Well, that's what I meant. They're going to, you push forward to try to get it. You've got so much confidence in those guys up front.
And you see Coach Fahrenbach doing this with his hands. He's kind of moving his hands in, basically saying go to goal line splits here and trying to make sure that nobody shoots a gap here.
Russell Canty, looks like they might want to bring the chains out just to see how close this is.
And that's a good call because now Coach Fahrenbach has a chance to possibly change his mind or possibly change the play that he was going to call.
Let's see our guy Ron Pierre up top, how close we can get. That's not much. You can see the call. Don't need much to get that first down. Big play here for MacArthur. Fourth and inches for the Generals.
Well, my guess they're going to go behind Shapiro. 270 pounds, right next to him, 245.
They go to Napoli, and Napoli gets the first down that he needs. That first step, Mike, was an explosive one by Napoli, and it allowed him, as you mentioned, he ran left, kind of right where Lazito, a left guard, is, and Clarkson at left tackle. That's your most experienced lineman here, and he'll get the first down.
What was impressive about that was the yardage after contact.
Yes.
He got hit right at the line of scrimmage, kept his feet going, did a little bit of a jump step, and just kept motoring and motoring. That's a great run. It's 2 yards, but that's a huge run right now to keep this drive going.
And that's one of the things that Coach Fehrenbach said about Napoli. He's a tough runner. Kind of have to be, I think, to play for MacArthur. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. There's Napoli again. And this time they do get him to in the backfield, and it looks like 33 Morris was the first one to make contact. He flew into the backfield. It was almost like a collision of trains coming at full speed. So no gain.
Yeah, but cleaning that play up was Chris Norris. You know, Morris came in, slowed him up. Chris Norris finished the play. And again, here's another kid, 6'2", 215 pounds, 27 tackles, 1 for a loss. I mean, their defense is definitely rising to the occasion right now.
Man in motion is Paypack. Muller looked his way, will throw his way, overthrows Paypack, and dangerous there as well because you saw Cuccinella creeping in.
He followed him all the way across the field, so they're getting the man coverage, so they know what the coverage is. It just looks like Muller's not setting his feet. He's kind of throwing off his back foot a little bit. He's not stepping into his throw because every one of his throws so far tonight, not many, but every one has been he's overthrown his receivers.
Let me ask you, how much does the stadium have to do with that kind of situation? Just because he's not been here. They were in the county final a year ago, but it was at Garden City, so he's not experienced Stewart Stadium before.
It could be the wind, too. I don't know if it's the stadium. It's still 120 yards long and 53 yards wide.
You're bringing Hoosiers at me now?
Absolutely.
3rd and 10. Muller, that's a great throw. He finds his man. How about that? Muller says, I don't need to worry about the stadium. Touchdown for MacArthur. And it goes to Hagel. And what a first half Hagel is having. INT and touchdown as well.
Still go back to that tackle on the screenplay where he stopped the first down. But this is a great throw. Now watch his feet. Boom, steps into it, nice and relaxed. You know, he basically just said, you're wrong up there in the booth. He says, I'm not going to overthrow anybody else. I'm going to score. I'm going to throw a perfect strike.
It was perfect.
Big extra point here.
Hagel is the number 2 receiver for MacArthur. PAT is up, and it is good. So all of that kind of goodwill and Mepham off to a great start is negated a little bit right now with 9:40 left in the first half because it's MacArthur who have taken a 1-point lead. And Hagel, listen, Fehrenbach says again, right, you don't throw the ball a lot, but he's got a handful of catches. He's the number 2 receiver. So you've got to respect his ability. And there you see Fehrenbach, 23rd season, a 1984 graduate of MacArthur High School. So coaching his alma mater, also a longtime coach. You see him as well on the softball field as well. Last year was a little bit tough for him. He had softball and football right back to back. He was Very long days of practice between the two of them at the same time.
I know that feeling. I'll be doing that on Monday, football, and then going back to Floral Park for basketball. It's going to be a good long week for me. Exciting week.
Yeah. Fehrenbach started with MacArthur as an assistant coach from 1991 to 98. Was promoted to the head coaching position before the 1999 season. Overall record 138, 72, and 2. So 7-6 now. And you got to figure that's got to be huge for Ryan Muller's confidence and also their confidence in him. How about this run? And a flag thrown right at the return man, who was Dylan Dunn.
Yeah, once he broke that to the outside, you could see that there was going to be a holding call because the blockers were set up to go middle, setting up a middle return, and then he breaks it. And now the defender or the players on the kickoff team, they're in lanes, but now they're breaking outside. Sometimes that's what happens. You just grab the jersey, and that's a big penalty because you had great field position at the 35-yard line. Now you're pushing it back to about the 26, 27. So that's a big difference.
So Honorkamp back on the field. And Krakow said, too, as you mentioned, right, like he transfers in from St. Anthony's just before the start of the spring season, but he had that whole preseason and camp and everything to both figure each other out, right? Krakow's figuring out what Honorkamp is about, Honorkamp figuring out what Mepham is about. Takes it himself, follows the block of Dunn, cuts it to the outside. Nice gain on first down from the 6', 175 senior.
Yeah, that's a nice play. That's an Amtrak, 20 personnel, 2 backs, and they're basically faking a sweep right or bounce right, we call it, and then just pulling it, and that's a good start to a drive.
He backed up, remember Kender last year, and when Kender got hurt going into the last week of the season, that's when Honorkamp did assume the responsibility as your starting quarterback. Off second down. And look at this again. Thayer gets to the edge, to the outside, to the 40. And he's finally pulled down at the 30. We do, though, have a flag all the way back at about the 48-yard line. This one likely coming back. And it is. You see the call by Canty. Offensive holding.
Yeah, Mepham right now is shooting themselves in the foot. The last 2 drives, they had the legal motion on, 3rd and short. Now they have a holding penalty after a 20, 30-yard run. Still looks like it's going to be a first down, or it's going to be, it's going to be a first down. They're moving the chains right now, but, you're still negating a 25, 30-yard run. So,
yeah, you're down. He was down at, the 34? Right? And now you've got to get pushed back to the 41, the opposite 41.
It was a good 35, 40-yard run.
Or 39, sorry.
Still good field position, still got a first down out of it, but, you're still hurting yourselves.
Honorkamp eludes the tackle, gets it to the outside. He's jumped from behind by Weber, number 1. But another good run by Honorkamp.
Yeah, just a tackle wrap. Good read by Honorkamp. He's reading the end on that. If the end bends with the pulling tackle, he's going to hold it. He's going to keep it. The end stays. He's giving it.
I remember covering Tyler Davis years ago. Obviously went on to play or was a quarterback at UConn, transferred, was a transitioned right to a tight end at 6'4". But he was, we'll get to that in a second after this play, Honorkamp 2nd and 4 from the 46-yard line. Again, calls his own number, pushes forward towards midfield. He falls forward to get the first down. But when I asked Krakow maybe it's hard to compare and contrast, he said it is for a few reasons. Davis was 6'4", Honorkamp is 6 foot. But also Honorkamp he said pretty bluntly, has more athletes around him, where Davis didn't really have that with him. So he had to do a lot of things on his own. And, he tried to throw the football down the field. He would run it a lot if he had to, but was a little bit on an island, where it's different here for Hanekamp. He's got some special guys around him.
It makes a difference.
1st and 10 right at midfield. That's one of the special guys bouncing into the outside now is Thayer, and gets about 7 on that first down run. He is the primary back for Mepham. A bigger back, runs hard. He could also catch the ball out of the backfield, and looks like Mepham will look to go quickly now. They have 3 backs. He is the biggest of those 3. And Hanekamp, off the fake, will get the first down.
And you see they're just changing formations. They're going 3 by 1, even, 20 personnel. Trying to confuse Mepham's defense right now. Doing a good job right now with the nice methodical drive, which should be what MacArthur does.
Yeah.
But, give Mepham credit. They're not trying to get it all back in one play, and this is a real good drive right now. They're establishing the run.
And that's what they didn't do in that first matchup. They tried to go too quickly to respond right away, and it ended up biting them. This more, I think, of what Krakow wanted to see. He didn't want to see that. That was a TFL there as a loss of 1 on that run. See Big 79 come in for that play. Orlando comes right back out. He gets the tackle for loss. That run stopper in the middle, and did his job.
Well, it looks like Coach Fazzolari, who's the defense coordinator, I know very well. We talk all the time. He coached my son a couple years. Looks like he's got a personnel thing. When they go into a diamond set, he's bringing on extra linemen. When they're in a spread set, he's going 4 hands down. So you got 5 hands down now with 3 backs plus the quarterback.
Hanekamp, quick release. Good job there. What a great block up field as well. It's a first down and a little bit more as well. That is what you were saying really throughout this first half. The blocking up field has been huge for Mepham. That was Cuccinella getting the first down.
Well, good job by Mepham right here. They see 5 hands down. They know the flat is open. That's a great throw by Hanekamp.
And he looked right over, and he saw the middle linebacker, too, coming. So he knew he had to get a quick release as well.
So now you see 4 hands down. So Coach Fazzolari kind of got out of that front.
1st and 10 from the 28. Fake to Thayer. Hanekamp again follows his blockers, and he'll get out. Well, he gets a continued push. Looks like to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, just a counter tray and, gaining 6-7 yards. Again, this is the type of drive right now that gets you back into a game. It's establishing the run right now. They're going against the wind. The passes are going to be all pretty much short. They're going to be bubbles and spots and hitches, but they're spreading them out. 3 by 1, 2 by 2. They're doing a real nice job.
2nd and 4 from the 22-yard line. You love the chess match, right, between the offense and the defense, and Krakow wants to call a timeout. All right, I hate to do this to you, Mike, but we do have to mention a sponsor for today's game, so don't yell at me for mentioning food again.
I won't.
But we want to thank Fat Boy Burrito, Tony, the whole crew over at Fat Boy Burrito for sponsoring today's game, located in Belmore. These guys make some unbelievable burritos and bowls. They're opening up more locations, Levittown, East Northport as well. Check them out at fatboyburritoco.com. I want to thank Tony and the guys for sponsoring today's game.
Do we know what hours they're open until?
I'm fairly fortunate. I'm fairly certain not until they'll be closed by the time this game ends. Is what we're going to say.
They
right?
might be closed by halftime.
Yeah. And I think that was a little bit of the situation. We were going to do a nice food review and the rain and Mother Nature and kind of put the kibosh on that.
That was promised. A Fat Boy Burrito.
I I was too.
Don't know how many people are watching. I know my mom's watching down in Florida.
There we go.
She promised she would watch, and I said, Ma, if I do this Fat Boy Burrito, this is going to be for you. God bless my 88-year-old, nice little Irish-German mom down in Florida who watches and does everything that I can do. She wants to be part of.
There you go. Support is important. 2nd and 4 from the 22 off the timeout. Oh, look at this. A little wildcat action. Bouncing to the outside and diving towards the end zone. Did he get in? He did! Touchdown from Mepham.
What a great block by number 15, Ryan Harrington. Only a sophomore. All right, downfield blocking. He's the reason that this is a touchdown.
Dylan Dunn out of Wildcat. Here comes the block.
Right here. Boom.
Ooh.
And here's the best part about that block. He easily could have lit him up. All right, and you have that rule about defenseless players. He shielded him.
Yep.
He shielded him. Great block. And that's what you need to have your receivers in a spread offense blocking downfield. That's the key.
And as you said, look, I think when you can go and MacArthur as a response, that's huge. It wasn't a 2-play drive where you score right away. It's you eat up clock, you methodically move the football, and now you're going to go for 2 to try to make up for that earlier missed point. That's done in motion. Honorkamp rolls it to the outside, tucks it. He is hammered at about the 2. I didn't love this decision when they went for it because, and you say it all the time, as a coach, you're chasing it now the whole game, where I don't think you needed to necessarily at that point.
No, I don't know if I would have chased it that early, but I tell you, this is a great play by number 33, Ryan Larkin. I mean, it looked like Honorkamp had the end zone, and out of nowhere, Larkin just came up and made a great tackle. And yeah, we always talk about, basically chasing points early. And, it's early because now you're going to be chasing it for the rest of the game because a touchdown now puts you in a deficit even without the extra point.
There you see some of Honorkamp's numbers to this point. Today, 4 of 5, 84 yards, touchdown and an interception. And he tucked that one under. He was going for it, as you mentioned. Great stop. So we'll see now, right? That's 3 points that you kind of leave up there, and how important will that be going forward? You got to assume that drive, by the way, we mentioned it before, 10 plays, 73 yards, which took up 6.5 minutes.
I think that was looking at MacArthur instead of Mepham. But that's the impressive part about what Mepham just did. They've adjusted to the win. They adjusted their passing game because it wasn't what they really needed to be successful offensively. And they established the run. But now you kick the ball out of bounds for the second time today. So I don't know if they're purposely kicking away from Napoli. That's what it kind of looks like. And it looks like MacArthur's going to push him back again and make him kick. Last time it was about a 15-yard difference.
Yeah, it seems like it's angled towards the sideline, but I guess maybe when they were practicing it, perhaps it's to maybe have it die there, right? So now, interesting here too, where they switched things up a little bit. MacArthur did in their personnel and moved some guys around.
Yeah, they just put Weber deep where he wasn't. He was one of the up backs. He's now deep, but they're definitely kicking the ball away from Napoli.
Some more traditional kick fielded at the 25-yard line, but guess who? As Fehrenbach would say, 40 Napoli.
And look where the ball is, right at the 40. Numbers match. But he's one block away from taking that to the house.
Sure. And there are 3 Napoli brothers on this team, 3 of 33 seniors. Asked Bobby Fehrenbach about that senior day ceremony. He said, I think it's still happening. That's a long senior day. And there you see some numbers here for Ryan Muller. 2 of 6 for 64 yards and a touchdown.
You could be 2 for 20, but if that one of those two is a touchdown, it's a success. Now, this is interesting because they're coming out 2-2 in a spread right now, MacArthur, which is not normally their game.
And the run goes to Fondero. He's the guy who switched from a tight end a year ago. He's been doing a really good job at fullback. Fehrenbach describes him as their thumper.
I'm assuming that means he's a tough runner and he initiates contact instead of avoiding it.
Nice gain on first down, a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Empty.
And shotgun here from Muller. Now, again, you motion Napoli. Tried to cut inside, but that got blown up pretty well. Looked like, I'll have him turn here. Looks like it was
Ryan Thier again.
I think Novello as well, right? 9.
Yes.
Here it is again. Yeah, there was 9.
9, and Thier cleans it up, but yes, it was definitely number 9, Dom Novello, who did a great job avoiding the block, getting inside, and stopping a potential big play.
So Novello, number 9 from Mepham. How about this? 74 tackles on the year, 4 for losses. It's the 2nd straight year the junior, not a senior, the junior has led the team in tackles. He's the first kid, Krakow says, that he's ever had go into a season as a freshman as a day 1 starter. Was a free safety in a really good team that lost to Garden City when he was a freshman. Maybe, he said, in an ideal world, perhaps a college strong safety for Novello. But he is he's definitely a beast there. Novello 6'1", 190. Which brings up a 3rd and 9 off the timeout. 2:58 left in this first half. Muller, that's a great pass. Stringing it out there was Paypack. He'll get the first down.
That's a great route, just running a 30 route, all right, which is a going and out. Nice job there. Moving the chains.
Paypack, that's exactly what Fehrenbach says. Runs great patterns. We don't throw it a lot, but he's pretty much the guy. 11 receptions for 214 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he has 214 yards receiving out of the 464 yards that Muller has thrown this year. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. And a deep ball by Muller kind of airs it out, bounces around. It is incomplete. That's a dangerous ball to throw up. It was basically 4 guys, almost like a Hail Mary kind of a situation where they were all going for the ball.
Yeah, it looked like 2 guys were in the same area, which, like you said, it just brought 4 guys, and it almost looked like a jump ball or a Hail Mary at the end of a half. It just didn't look right. It looks like 4 go routes, but you see the strong safety right there for Mepham is that Novello pushes the receiver into the other receiver. So that's a great job by Novello rerouting the receiver.
Michael Edelson, the sophomore, also in on that. He's coming a lot late in the season, and one of the reasons he's been better is he goes up against Cuccinella every day at practice. 2nd and 10 from the 47. That's a great reception again, ranging up and making the grab was Sarney.
Yeah, just running a chair route, sitting in the zone, soft zone. And I tell you, that's a great job by using his hands. The ball was thrown a little bit high, and he comes down with it. Now you're in a 3rd down and very manageable 2 yards. You know, and Sarney's also your kicker, your punter, but he's also doing a nice job right now.
We approach 2 minutes left in the first half. And look at this. Muller breaks a tackle, has a blocker upfield, dances himself out of bounds at about the 18.
Again, nice downfield blocking by Matt Papak. You got a kick-out block. This is a nice answer by the Mepham offense right now. I mean, the MacArthur offense. Look at the blocking. Look at the double team right there. Driving down all the way down to the 20-yard line and just being relentless.
This part of Muller's game is something that Fehrenbach said we're starting to see a little bit more because he's also creating and making more plays as well. The senior quarterback, Ryan Muller. So it's 1st and 10 inside the red zone. Comes MacArthur under 2 minutes left in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. And Muller again shifts it to the outside, cuts it again, angles, Novello dives at him, and he is forced out of bounds. And it looks like I think that was Novello who saved a touchdown.
Watch the feet of Muller on this. He reads the end. Great block by the Clarkson, the right guard.
There's
right
the
here.
outfield blocking you mentioned.
Right there. Stalk blocking, really nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that job by Novello, just pushing him out.
At the 1.5-yard line.
1st and goal from the 2.
Now, this whole drive, they've been in a spread set. Now they come with their traditional wishbone, ace, double tight.
Napoli, touchdown. You can see the Mepham guys thinking maybe they had him stopped early, but that was behind Fundaro, your fullback, and Napoli bursts off the first touch, and here it is again.
Great down block right there by the left guard, Lozito.
And you could see 33 Morris kind of trying to reach around, right, and grab him before. Big PAT attempt. Line drive kick is no good. We've not mentioned it yet to this point, but I think it bears mentioning. These are even though they don't play college football here anymore, which is completely confusing to me. Well, not that they don't play college football anymore, but that they still have the same college uprights. So these are a lot more narrow than the high school uprights, and for a lot of these kids, it's your first look at these uprights.
It's definitely deceiving. Not only are they the college uprights, if they're long.
Yep.
So it even makes it appear more narrow. All right? And we just go back to the last touchdown by Mepham when they chased and went for 2. And they didn't get it. Now, all of a sudden, MacArthur scores, misses the extra point, but they're up 1. You kick the extra point, this is a tie game.
There are those uprights. So, yeah, certainly a lot longer and more narrow, right? And a little bit angled.
And a little bit angled.
As well. That's not our guy. That's not Ron Pierre up front. He's good. He's even. And what I was going to say I don't get is, look, you've not had football here for how many years? Can we just bring in high school uprights, right? You're not – what college games are happening here?
And I know they're not up here for lacrosse season.
Oh, no. I mean, they're at Stony Brook, but that's for a reason, right? Because they play football at Stony Brook. And in traffic a little bit from his own teammates doing was Cuccinella. So let's see the 2-minute offense now for Mepham. If they can get a response to MacArthur's touchdown, which was a response to theirs. Back and forth we go. They'll go from the 25-yard line. Honorkamp motions Thier out, looks his way. Oh, look at that dump pass to Dunn. I like this kid, Dylan Dunn. Look at how shifty he is, bounces it outside, gets out to midfield. This is a kid, 5'4", 135. Little jitterbug to the outside.
He's got great feet. He is quick. He's got great vision. Again, they're hurting MacArthur with the screens.
A little Mahomes action here.
Yeah. And look at his cut right here. That's a great jump cut.
And then fouls his blocker there as well.
Sure.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line.
25 yards in one play. That's good time management.
100%. 122 left in the first half. You fake it to Thier, double pump. That is complete. And again, you've got your blockers. And another big play. This time it was to Cuccinella, and they're in a hurry-up. The clock stops, though, as you move the chain, so they don't have to be as fast-moving as they were trying to be. And now it starts to go 1st and 10 from the 27. Honorkamp goes sideline. A lot of contact there, but not worthy of a flag. That was Weber defensively. It looks like just two guys kind of got mixed up and caught up in their feet.
Well, high school rules are different than the pro rule. You can, in high school, make contact past 5 yards as long as the ball's not in the air and he's in front of you. But if you look at the replay on that last play, another great play by Hagel, saving a touchdown. Seems like we're calling his name a lot today.
What I'm impressed, too, with Mepham, and you've mentioned a few times, is like the receiver isn't just trying to go, and like he's got his eyes up and looking for his blockers, and all those guys are all blocking upfield as well. 2nd and 10. Fake to Thier. Honorkamp calls it himself. Oh, that's a great block as well. 77 freed him up. That was Kevin Perry, the right tackle, a 2-year starter.
Again, I've seen a lot of great jump cuts in this game in the first half. That was a nice tackle by the free safety, Matt Paypack. And that's what you want from Mepham. You want the safeties making tackles because that means you're downfield.
3rd and 3. Honorkamp. And that is incomplete. So all of that great job of pushing the football, and now you've got 4th down. It's 4th and 3, 15 seconds left. So here's the replay again. The pressure came. Maybe if that pass is a little bit higher, right?
Yeah, you see the ball squirt. And he probably could have ran for a first down there, but he did have a receiver open as well.
So you can stop the clock. Mepham's got 1 timeout left, but you could also, obviously, again, we said it before, you could stop the clock on a conversion as well. 4th and 3 from the 20, and MacArthur, they've got 3 of them, so they're going to take a timeout here to talk it over.
I like that timeout. This is a big play in this game. You got a 4th down and 3. You know, they're not going to try to kick a field goal here.
Want to thank another one of our sponsors today, Lynn Brooks Swag, for sponsoring today's game. For the best embroidery and custom apparel, call them at 516-705-5888. Lynn Brooks Swag works with many sports teams around Long Island. Mention hashtag Buckeyes. You will save 10% when you do so.
Not food. Can we get our food embroidered, though?
Maybe. I guess.
Combine the sponsor. Get a burrito. Embroider it.
And then you go to Orland & Cohn when
and
you're
not
feeling
go to Orland & Cohn because we're having heartache.
That's
well, that's
right.
an orthopedic,
That's
though.
right. Well, maybe your feet hurt, right? Because you
got gout.
Yeah, there you go. We'll get them all. It's a full effort here. Full menu by our sponsors today. It is, was it almost 12 o'clock? It's getting late. So off the timeout, 4th and 3. Honorkamp's got some buddies around him.
Looking for a play action right now. Oh. They go bounce. Great block right there by Dunn.
That was 9 Novello. And he's again, right? He can shift into the backfield as a solo back, a little bit of a Mr. Everything for the Pirates.
Watch this block. No, that's right there. What a block right there. He's 5'4", and he's sticking his nose in, blocking for Novello. I mean, that's a kid who doesn't mind doing it all. He doesn't just want the ball in his hands. He's going to sacrifice his body for the best of his team.
So you got 10 seconds left. You're 14 yards from the end zone. You also have a timeout here at your disposal. Honorkamp follows the block of Thier, as well as 77. Throws it. Was that picked? It was.
No, he's saying out of bounds.
I thought they're pointing the other way.
He caught it. It's just saying he was on the line, I guess.
Here it is again. We'll see it.
And there's no challenges here. So look, we have a nice replay here. Ooh.
So it was a pick by Hagel, but he was out of bounds, I guess, right?
It was definitely a pick by Hagel.
I think that's a tough call there. So we will go for the field goal, a 30-yard field goal. High snap, kick is up, angled, and that is wide. And that's the way the first half has ended. 13-12 is the score. Maybe there's some Fat Boy burritos in the locker room. Those guys are rushing to get inside as the group. MacArthur sprinting across the field. They've got a 13-12 lead in this second Nassau Conference 2 semifinals, the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Inside handoff this time. Look at a spin. Campbell breaks the tackle. Breaks into the secondary. Jackson Campbell. Touchdown, Northport.
4 passing touchdowns tonight. Give to the right side. Back it comes for McKee. He loads up and fires wide open at the 10-yard line was Logan Lyson.
Second and goal from the 15. Look out. Kelly under pressure gets out of it. Interception at the 10-yard line. And look at this return to the 20, the 30. There's blockers up the field. From the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown, Ward Melville.
Varsity Media top 10. There we go, right there. Who needs Sports Center when you got Varsity Media top 10?
It's time to get hyped with Varsity Media. We offer an array of video services sure to amp up your team. From staged preseason hype videos with custom lighting and smoke machines to sideline highlights of a big game. How can your team stand out from the crowd? Contact Varsity Media today and let us tailor something your squad will never forget. These are the best times of your life. Capture them in the most creative ways possible with the sports leader, Varsity Media.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
That's all he did was snap.
Yeah, I just.
All he did was long snap and short snap.
We went to the LIU game and I met him. Alani.
Telling you.
He went to Penn State and then transferred to LIU.
The reason I say it is because it's a specialist type of position. He loves it. Loves it.
Definitely do third down
Listen,
conversion.
How's your grades? I'm going to be honest with you. How's your grades?
Very good.
That's You're in the high 90s?
High honor roll.
I know, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
you're in the mid.
92, 93.
Keep working there, because you want to go to school. That's where you make your money, by getting the grades, because that's where they're giving people the financial money. Like, my daughter's in Florida Atlantic right now. She's a dancer. She didn't get any money for dancing, trust me. She got money because she was in the same thing. I met people, but she was like in the 93, 94, and that's where she got her little packages, you know. So that's going to be number one. And if you can get a specialist, and like I said, I'll do a little research for you and talk to some guys that I coach with and stuff, and I'll reach out to you on Twitter and stuff like that, everything. You know, if I find somebody who's willing to work, then we'll get in touch.
And he
But
sent me the
that's awesome.
scoring
Doing
drives
that,
of
and from what I
whatever
just saw,
stats you wanted to do.
you know, I'm not sitting here with a stopwatch, but that was
I mean,
tight.
the
That was
highlights.
good.
I send his clips to, remember James Dirth,
Yeah.
the Jets long snapper?
Yeah.
I sent him, I'm friends with him on Facebook when I covered the Jets.
Right.
And he's been looking at the tapes too. And he's chopped probably about, what was it, beginning of the season? The first one was like 0.81. So he went about 0.81. No. What was over the summer at the USA camp?
I did rushing and
My fastest or like the regular?
Like what was the average one over the summer?
Like high eights.
How we doing in here, boys? How we doing?
No Fat Boy burritos?
It was too late of a
Well,
review.
you gotta tell me these
Yeah,
things
what about
so I
the
know
wedding?
what I'm doing for dinner. I came here
what about-
starving
what-
because you told me
Or the
you
wedding.
were doing
You
a
just
sponsor,
came
so
from the
I
wedding. You could've
purposely
brought some stuff
did
for
not
dinner.
eat dinner. And now it's what, midnight? Now you owe me the diner or something. Yeah,
How's
just
it
keep
going
working.
otherwise?
Chopped like
Fourth down?
0.10 off.
Good.
It's,
Fourth down.
it's,
1 for 1 from
You know what the
Mepham.
best thing is? I'm sure you have more than one football at home. Get a garbage can.
Sure. Do that.
I like that one.
All right.
He's got me. He snaps to me after he comes home from school.
Well, when you're not home,
Yeah.
find a garbage
I have
can.
a pitch practice now.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like pitching. Get it up. Get that little square in there.
Excuse me, the Boston home
And
school.
just start working, huh?
Yeah.
Just keep working.
They
But I'll do a little research for you.
Hello?
yeah, the issue is like I'm just sitting down because I'm standing all the time like that. One of the I think I'm getting a football for my birthday, the GST, the Wilson football.
Yeah.
And right now I have one.
The mics are on. Your mics are on. They're hearing your conversation.
All right.
My wife is hearing it at home. A wonderful conversation.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Johansson with that early touchdown to Allstrand. Inside handoff this time. Look at a spin. Campbell breaks the tackle. Breaks into the secondary. Jackson Campbell. Touchdown, Northport.
With 4 passing touchdowns tonight. Give to the right side. Back it comes for McKee. He loads up and fires wide open. At the 10-yard line was Logan Lyson.
Second and goal from the 15. Look out. Kelly under pressure gets out of it. Interception at the 10-yard line. And look at this return to the 20, the 30. There's blockers up the field. From the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown, Ward Melville.
Varsity Media top 10. There we go, right there. Who needs Sports Center when you got Varsity Media top 10?
It's time to get hyped with Varsity Media. We offer an array of video services sure to amp up your team. From staged preseason hype videos with custom lighting and smoke machines to sideline highlights of a big game. How can your team stand out?
Welcome back to Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University. Second half in this Nassau Conference 2 showdown about to start. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina here. An entertaining first half, Mike. Certainly a chess match, a closer game as we expected it to be than that regular season game. Let's take a look at some of these first half stats for you and see what kind of jumps out at the page or off the page for you, if you will, from these stats. How about the penalties?
Well, I think that's why you just saw at halftime Coach Krakow talking to the officials, 7 for 50, and MacArthur has 0 penalties. Now, it'll be interesting to see if that swings the other way. But here's the interesting part. Rushing stats, 97 for Mepham, only 61 for MacArthur. You know, you wouldn't think that MacArthur-Mepham spread versus an I power team that it would be like that. Now you take your passing, 93 to 67. That's closer than it should be.
And you see the total yards as well, 229. The plays that they've run are basically the same, but Mepham certainly significantly outgaining MacArthur in that first half.
But the penalties is the biggest difference right now. Those 7 penalties have stopped 2 drives.
So coming out of the break, MacArthur will receive the football. Always interested to see the adjustments at halftime.
Well, the way MacArthur ran into the locker room, either they were, like I said, getting a Fat Boy burrito, probably the one that I was promised, or they were waiting to make some adjustments.
Well, they ran out a little bit slower than they ran in. I can tell you that, but. So here we go. Winner takes on Garden City in the Nassau Conference 2 championship game. Opening kickoff of the second half. Fielded at about the 14-yard line. Looks to be Napoli and gets about 20 yards on that return. And here comes that MacArthur offense.
And Dom Novello one of the guys on the tackle, and Chris Garasio.
So Ryan Muller, I think he was probably a little bit more active in the passing game than he's been in a lot of games this year in that first half. As the Generals take over on their own 33-yard line.
Coming out in an ace set, so playing man across the board here.
Muller takes it himself, gets one or two, maybe. It's tough to run into that middle of that line, right? You've got Rivera and Lojadisi as well. Lojadisi is not the biggest guy, but he's got that relentless motor at D tackle. Rivera is that big dude at 6 foot 250.
Yeah, and it looks like Muller on that just read his block a little wrong. He probably should have went and stayed a little bit more outside, and it looked like there was room there. But a good start for the Mepham defense.
And no gain. So 2nd and 10 for MacArthur. Muller chased, going nowhere. In fact, going backwards. Was that Thier again? 32.
That is Thier, a name that you've heard for the last hour in the first half. He's all over the field. Only a junior, too.
Yeah.
Coach Crocco's got to be excited about having him come back next year. 46 tackles, 3 for losses. He's all over the place. You look at him, he looks like a linebacker.
He does, yeah. He's also your primary back as well. So to have those two positions kind of solidified, right, going to the next year, that's a great starting point.
Absolutely.
So that was a loss of 6. So, again, a running team now forced likely to throw the football. 3rd and 16 from their own 27-yard line.
Looks like they're coming with some outside pressure.
They do. They force Muller around, and he's taken down. Looks like that was 58 on the tackle. Goldstein.
Yeah, he came up limping a little bit, too, on that. I don't know if he got caught underneath, but
it started with the edge you mentioned, right? So he's forced out, and then the inside guys take him.
Almost close to a horse collar on that. He had him by the back of the jersey. He didn't pull him straight back. That's why it's not a horse collar, but real nice first 3 downs for the Mepham defense. That's what they wanted, a 3 and out. Now they'll get the ball, and MacArthur actually went backwards.
And a good chance here for Mepham, right? They should get really good field position here. There's the punt, and it's angled out of bounds right about the 50. So, yeah, now you got a half field to work with if you're Mepham.
Yeah, if you're Mepham right now, you're sitting there saying, listen, we did what we want to do. We come out, we got to stop, maybe get a bad punt or a good return. Well, they got one of them. They're starting right now at the 49-yard line going in. So let's see what the MacArthur defense dials up on their first drive against, Mepham's offense. We talk about halftime adjustments. Mepham came out and adjusted.
(13-12) is your score. MacArthur with the lead. Both teams have left points up on the board. Honorkamp, a little misdirection. Bouncing to the outside is done. He's thrown down by Paypack, but another big gain by Dunn. About an 18-yard gain, 19-yard gain.
And again, we talk about downfield blocking. Watch Cusinella on this play, if we can get the replay. Just stalk blocking and just relentless driving downfield so that Dunn can pick up an extra 4 or 5 yards. In that case, it was actually an extra 10.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. We go the other way with this one. This time, Dunn looks like he almost got tripped up by his own guy as kind of got his feet caught up with Perry, 77.
So the adjustment for Mepham right now is they're coming out with 20 personnel, 2 backs. And first 2 plays, they've run a counter. We call it a flex counter. And basically, the first one went for about 15, 16 yards. Second time, he got tripped up, like you said, by his own right tackle, Kevin Perry.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 from the 32-yard line. Back to Dunn. He's got a lot of blockers on that far side. He gets to the original line of scrimmage, or gets a yard shy of that before he's hit hard.
Tackled by Rocco Hogan on that. Real nice job by the MacArthur defense stringing that out. He had nowhere to cut, nowhere to run.
So you mentioned Hogan. The interesting thing about him is he's starting his 3rd game of the year at corner. That was the spot that Sarney was at all year. Hogan moved to linebacker, but he moved him out of there for this game and for this run. He's the only 11th grader who has started all year. The rest, we mentioned, a senior-laden squad, 33 on the roster to be exact. 3rd and 12 for Mepham. Hunter Cap keeps it. Paypack chases him down. That's a great tackle by Paypack on 3rd down, because you did have an upfield blocker there as well, but Paypack got to Hunter Camp before Hunter Camp can get to that blocker.
He's got room. He doesn't make this tackle. This is a 1st down and more. But the strategy on that was 3rd down and 12, 3rd down and 11. They knew they were going to go for it on 4th down, so let's not throw the ball and try to get it all on 1 down. They got half of it. Now they're going for it on 4th.
4th and 5. Here's Dunn, kicking it to the outside. Cuts it inside at the perfect time. He gets downed at the 18, 17, but it's enough for a 1st down.
And what Mepham did was come double sniffer left.
I believe it is, at least. They didn't move the – there they go. They finally
Chains are moving, yes. Double sniffer left, and they knew they were going outside, and MacArthur came in with a stunt. Dunn just outran him. MacArthur had it played well. His speed just got him the 1st down. He made 1 cut, knew he needed 5. He got 6. Great job.
Red zone, again from Mepham. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Same play there again to Dunn, and this time it's read well by a host of MacArthur tacklers.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be a holding penalty. Came back with the 20 personnel running that counter. And they're going to get, again, Mepham for a hold. Now, this is what, penalty number 8?
Yep. And it was, what, 70 yards? We showed you on that graphic, right, from the 1st half.
And like I said, 2 of them have stopped drives. So they're hurting themselves.
I feel like now you've got to always be aware of where 3 is, right, for Mepham. Right now you see him at the bottom of your screen.
In the slot. They're moving him around.
1st and 20 from the 27. Only Thier next to Honorkamp. Honorkamp turns, and that gets blown up in a big way.
Yeah, Mario Lagazzo did a great job reading the counter, and that's all that was. That was just a quarterback counter. So for the adjustment now, again, you know, this is a game of adjustments, is they're running a lot of counters on this drive, whether it's with 2 backs. That set right there was a quarterback counter, and they moved Dunn to the outside. So, again, they're running the same plays. They're just trying to use different formations right now.
Lagazzo at 5'6", 160, undersized, but does a great job of finding the ball at times. He's doing a really good job this year for MacArthur. 2nd and 21. Honorkamp back to pass, slings it, finds Thier, breaks the first tackle, and he's pulled down inside the 5.
That's a great play call right there. Little play action. And watch how fast Mepham gets on the ball right now. And you see MacArthur trying to substitute. They're all confused. They're going to get caught with 12 men on the field or a timeout. And it looks like they got the timeout. Great job by Mepham on that. After a big play inside the 5-yard line, they went hurry up right into a set. And MacArthur's been changing personnel based on down and distance or field position, and they were going to get caught, not with 12, but like 13, 14 guys on the field. But good timeout by Coach Fahrenbeck.
I want to thank our sponsors again, and especially Orland and Cone. We want to thank them for their season-long title sponsorship and allowing today's game to be broadcast free. Orland & Cone, best providers of orthopedic care around Long Island. Visit them online for more information at orlandcone.com. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina here. It is the Orland & Cone game of the week. The last game of a day turned night, turned
morning.
Almost morning here at Hofstra. If you're keeping track, the first game was, a 10 a.m., right? Kickoff here, at least. Peter Schwartz brought you those two broadcasts in Conference 4, and I was also out with Ron Pierre, who's our cameraman tonight, out at Walt Whitman for that Suffolk Division I semifinal. There was a big rain delay, so long day for this crew here at Varsity Media. Touchdown. Honorkamp, 4-yard score, and he gives Mepham the lead once again.
Now, interesting decision.
You've been chasing it, right?
You're up 5. Do you go chase for 2 and try to get it to 7?
Look at this.
And again, huge play here. MacArthur's forced to call timeout. That's their second timeout within 2 plays. And that could hurt them as this game moves down the line, especially if you're down in the game and you have to stop the clock.
Here it is again. It's the same. Well, this is the touchdown as well. But
Great cut. Look at the downfield block, and again. And again, if we look at who's making that key block, it's Dylan Dunn. 5'4", but he's got great technique. He's getting right into the chest of the MacArthur defenders. And listen, you got to love a player who is a great ball carrier, who they'll move around and does not mind blocking for his teammates.
And plays bigger, right?
And plays bigger than his frame.
So what Krakow has done there is really forced. They will go for 2. And this one's all kinds of blown up. That was out of the bag of tricks and really almost never got out of that bag. And they continue to chase. But the good thing, I think, right, for Krakow, and you mentioned it a moment ago, is you forced MacArthur to take 2 of those 3 timeouts. And they've got a timeout left out of 3 only because you went to go fast and they couldn't take a penalty.
It's gonna be a difference maker in the fourth quarter if MacArthur is down. 2-point play, the old Statue of Liberty. MacArthur did a good job sniffing it out.
So back and forth we go. Mepham back in front again. They will, or the winner, I should say, takes on Garden City. And unlike Suffolk Division II, it's obviously been a lopsided one where Garden City has been, you've got to say, head and shoulders above the competition, whereas in Suffolk Division II, it's been black and blue all year long. Bellport is still alive. Hills East, they were an unfortunate situation there with the weather where they couldn't complete their game out in Bellport. They've got to come back for the final 5 minutes of a tight game. Lindenhurst last night rallied for a big win over Northport. There's no undefeated teams in Suffolk 2. They've beat up on each other all year. You know, you wonder, right? Is there an advantage maybe to play that kind of schedule versus if you're Garden City, your starters play maybe a half a game all year long. But that's a conversation for maybe another day, as these two teams are looking for the opportunity to play Garden City and looking for an opportunity for a response. Another good return as MacArthur. We've seen both teams kind of have half field, right, to work with. Not many, especially off of kickoffs, having to do long drives.
Well, again, we talk special teams is a third of the game. Offense is a third, defense is a third, and special teams. I want to say right now MacArthur is winning the special teams part of this game. I'm not saying it's going to be what determines the game, but right now they're starting with not a half a field, but close to it. They're getting great field position off the kickoffs from Mepham.
Look at Mepham here as well. They are just stacking the box. Napoli tries to cut it to the outside, and that will be an offensive penalty. Looks like it is on 8 for – sorry?
Yeah, Malik Smith on a hold. Had him up around the shoulders. You got to let go at that point.
First penalty for MacArthur on the day.
Knew it was coming.
Well, you coaches are great at lobbying for that, right? And here you see it again. And look, that's not one that's that's clear, right?
That's clear cut.
Yeah.
Clear cut hold. But we do lobby.
That's one of my favorite things, especially like you basketball coaches. You look up at the score. Hey, it's 7-1 in fouls. What's going on?
Listen, we're always going for the next call,
100%,
not the one, not
yes.
the one that was just missed.
2nd and 22. There's Muller and 73. Miguel Rivera ate him up. He's that true nose guard type, right? That two-gap run stopper. Rivera is senior, 6'2", 250. Good balance. He's a wrestler, right? You guys also love to have those wrestlers up front, and that's what you get from Rivera as well.
Great low center of gravity, good feet, strong, and it's all about technique.
Yeah.
That's why wrestlers are great linemen.
Well, you've got that's your head coach at Massapequa, Kevin Shippos, is always saying that he's a wrestling guy as well.
Wrestled at Penn State.
Yeah.
State
Muller
champion.
did a good job of breaking that first tackle, but on a 3rd and 19, at best there, he was trying to get back to that original line of scrimmage.
Well, 3rd and 11 is a little bit more manageable than 3rd and 20. So, again, is MacArthur trying to survive going against the win right now this quarter? That's to be determined.
All kind of laundry on the field right now.
I'm just watching towels and hand warmers just being thrown.
Yeah.
That's how I knew which way the wind was blowing.
3rd and 11 from the 42-yard line. Muller rolls, looks to throw. Is it complete? No, it is not. It's short. The intended target was 41.
Well, whether they caught that or not, they were going to be short. So now Mepham just scores. They force a 3-and-out, or at least a punt. So now this is where Mepham can go down and score and put a little distance between them and MacArthur. And we know MacArthur's offense is not a big strike offense. So this will be a very important possession right now for both teams.
Sarney angles his punt, nearly hits his own guy. Instead, it'll take a MacArthur bounce, and Mepham back on offense with 2:36 left in this 3rd quarter. We mentioned before we've got a big Saturday coming up next week, and kind of right across the street, you would say, right, at Mitchell Athletic Complex at the Catholic High School Football League Championship games. The matchups are in. it is Holy Trinity St. John the Baptist in AA2. In AA1, it is Chaminade and Moore Catholic. In AAA, Big Boy, Monsignor Farrell, Iona Prep. All those games live on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Are you impressed that I remembered all of those matchups at 11 o'clock at night?
I am very impressed, especially when you just was told that at 10:30.
No, come on. First down, there's Thier. Look at that. You're not grabbing his jersey with one hand, and you're not taking him down with one tackle.
And they went right back to that counter. So the adjustment definitely has worked this half for Mepham, is coming with 20 personnel, but they're just running counter, counter, counter. And their line is right now a little bit smaller, but they're taking over. You get a good kick out, a great log block. That's a nice run.
1st and 10 from the 40. We're approaching 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Getting late, not just in terms of the time of day. It's getting late in this matchup as well. There's Thayer again. And this time, he's stuffed. A combination of guys led by Ryan Larkin, 33.
And on that one, Larkin read the guard. He saw the guard pull. He found a window, and he attacked it. And, again, same thing, running the counter. And give Mepham credit. You know, they found something that's working, and they're going to stay with it until MacArthur can stop them.
Larkin is a guy who started halfway through the year. He was a defensive end, then moved him to linebacker. 2nd and 11 from the 39. Mepham is in no hurry. They're taking as much time as possible. Now the back judge gives them a warning about the play clock winding down. Honorkamp, the keeper, and good job again. Tackling from behind. He'll get out to about the 43-yard line.
James Clarkson with a really nice tackle on that. Reading the quarterback, not going for the bounce outside. Otherwise, that would have been probably 20, 30, maybe even a touchdown because there was nobody in the middle of the field.
3rd and 6 from the 44-yard line. Thier to the outside. Oh, man. That was Thier bringing the physicality to the would-be tackler and just barrels him over for a first down run.
I don't know. Am I speaking my age if I say that was like Earl Campbell-like?
I like it. I mean, you know, we're on YouTube, so open a new window in the break. You could watch the highlights of Earl Campbell. Gets out to the 50-yard line. That's a 4th and 1. So thought he had the first down, but
must have stepped out of bounds.
Yeah. Well, it's a close one. You don't need much to get the first down.
There's going to be another flag.
Yeah, you could see Fehrenbach was like right in the ear of the side judge. And he's the one who threw the flag immediately. Let's see the call here by our referee, Russell Canty.
This changes things because now you go from 4th and real short.
And you're bringing on your punting
team.
team.
Now you bring your punting team on. And that's how the second drive of the game went.
9th penalty of the day. I want to say we're up to 85 yards in penalties for Mepham.
Shooting themselves in the foot. And yet, they still have the lead.
Yeah.
You wonder if that comes back to bite them later, though.
A wobbly high snap. That's a great job by Novella to get it off. There's a flag as well. Here's what's going to be interesting, right? It's 4th and 6. It's not a roughing.
No, that's running into.
So running in, but that's a 5-yard penalty, so it'll get you back, right?
It'll get you back to 4th down and a half a yard. He called that a personal foul, it looked like. I saw.
I mean, look, if we show you the replay, they were coming at Novella, but there was no like malicious intent. You could see the
And the sticks are moving.
wow. I don't know about that one. I mean, you and I, we both saw a 5-yard penalty, which would be a 4th and inches again. Instead, as you mentioned, a fresh set of downs with 16 seconds left in this third quarter.
Well, that could turn out to be a game-changing penalty.
And like Novello was standing up too. It's not like he got crushed. I don't know.
I didn't even think there was going to be a flag.
And Thayer is hammered. Weber brought the pain.
Yeah, that's a great job by Weber, just coming up from his outside linebacker spot, slicing inside.
So 3 quarters in the books. The last spot in Nassau County in the championships on the line. It's Mepham with an 18-13 lead over MacArthur. Don't go away. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Schuert Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina here. 4th and final quarter of the day. The 4th game, the 4th quarter. A lot to play for here. The winner advances to the Nassau Conference 2 Championship. 1st and 10 for Mepham as they flip the field going right to left. Honorkamp gets out to about the 35-yard line. Good gain on first down. As we mentioned in the beginning of our broadcast, look, win or lose, whatever happens here, it is certainly a different result than that regular season game, which was won by MacArthur 47-21. In that game, James Napoli had 35 carries, 314 yards, and 4 touchdowns. MacArthur forced 6 turnovers in that game. Honorkamp dumps it over the top, finds a man, a first down reception. Looks like that was Novello again.
And that's 2 plays in a row that Novello's made an impact. On the first down play, he had a great trap block that sprung Honorkamp for the 5-6 yards. And now he just runs a little pop pass, and they caught MacArthur in a stunt, and they're moving.
Mepham looking to extend their lead. 1st and 10. As they're just outside the red zone. And another flag is thrown. Does this delay a game?
That's what I'm saying.
And you know what Honorkamp, I think, is saying, again, as we look, we're way up here, right? There you see the call. He was complaining right away to Canty, and I'm thinking maybe it's that he wasn't seeing the back judge make the call, right? Have his hand up, start counting down.
But the referee usually gives a 10-second warning sign behind the quarterback, and it's a verbal. So I'm a little puzzled on that.
Hard run. I think that's Novello again. Gets to about the 24.
These Mepham running backs run hard.
Yeah.
They run hard. They don't go down easy. Thier, Novello, and then you got my favorite, Dylan Dunn, who blocks, runs, does it all.
Second and 8 from the 24-yard line. Honorkamp rolls right, looks to tuck it, continues to go to the outside. Look at him stretch forward as well to get a couple extra yards. And again, we saw 77, Perry, the 2-year starter at right tackle, kind of pave that way.
Yeah, it just looked like they're getting the edge. And every time they run that double wing or double sniffer look, they're going outside. They're just not getting off blocks right now. They're in the right spot. They're just not getting off the blocks. Give Mepham credit.
Oh, some movement up front.
Now, this is interesting. This is going to be offsides, but if you watch Honorkamp, when he says go, his head and his shoulders both go. They shrug. It's that hard count where they almost basically draw the defense offsides. Somebody taught him very well on that.
First and goal. Honorkamp pushes forward to about the 7.
Big possession right now. Can MacArthur get a stop, hold him to possibly a field goal, and still make it a one-possession game? Or is Mepham able to now put a little separation and make MacArthur do something that they don't really want to do?
(18-13) is your score. Mepham with the lead, and this is so important that Krakow will take one of his 3 timeouts. When we spoke with the Mepham head coach just about the season overview, right, through 9 weeks, he said, look, we've consistently gotten better each week. The second half of the season especially, they've done well defensively, especially against the run, which is important, right, in this kind of matchup. He says we've kind of got some things sorted out. We got some guys in the right places. Offensively, he thinks that they were off to a really good start, had a little bit of a lull in the middle of the season, but the last couple of weeks really been pretty explosive. He has a bunch of guys contributing on both sides of the ball. Look, you're a defensive coach as well, and it's not always a scheme, right? It's about just getting guys, like moving those pieces, like chess pieces, just having them in the right spots, and that's what Mepham has done here in the second half of the season, and you can see it, right? The scores, 47 points for MacArthur the first game, and just the 13 to this point.
They've tackled better. That's the biggest thing. This game goes down to blocking and tackling.
There's the run on second and goal, and a couple yards closer.
And it looked like Honorkamp was bottled up and potentially a tackle for a loss, but somehow he was able to just squirt through. And again, here we go. Third down, 3-yard line. Big play.
Clock winding down to 8 minutes remaining in regulation. High snap. Honorkamp hands off.
Not only was that a high snap, and I don't really mean to interrupt, but it looked like that snap was early.
Ryan Larkin again, 33, making the tackle. Watch 33 here as well. Bang.
Good stunt.
Here we go.
Another interesting call, though. Do you not have enough faith in your kicker, or are you more confident with your offense right now? And here's that double sniffer look.
Oh, and denied. That was blown up, I think, even before the tackler came in. Dunn just kind of got his feet tangled up and wasn't in a good position to rush the football, so a stop for MacArthur. They've got 7:16 on the clock, one timeout, and they've got a long field to go. Here you see it again. Dunn just was never comfortable.
No, he definitely tripped over Hunterkamp's feet. Never was able to get and utilize his speed. And the MacArthur sideline, their crowd, has just got some more energy.
So here we go, MacArthur. Looking to move the ball downfield. They're at their own 9. Muller takes it himself. Couple jukes. Quickly hands to the official, and MacArthur will look to maybe play a little bit quicker now as well.
They might play quicker, but could you see this being one of those long, methodical, 7-minute drives? Remember, they're only down 5. They're not down 6, so a touchdown would put them in a lead.
It's Muller again. He'll get out to about the 20-yard line. And remember, too, it's important to mention MacArthur has only one timeout remaining as we head into this second half of the fourth quarter.
And that could determine whether this could be their final drive of the game. Knowing that they only have one timeout left, do you want to punt if they don't get it on the third down and give Mepham a chance to run out the clock? Or do you say, hey, we're going to let our offense go 4 downs and take our chances there?
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Muller back to pass. He'll go long, looking for Napoli. Incomplete, and a flag is thrown.
Yeah, it's going to be an interference call. Napoli had a step on him. Ball was underthrown a little bit, which kind of forced the interference. So that'll be 15 yards upfield.
And by my rough calculation, that's now over 100 yards in penalties for Mepham.
Now, you hate to say that that's a good penalty, but he was behind him. So do you sacrifice the 15 for the touchdown, which, again, that could turn out to be a big penalty, but almost in a positive way because he was beat.
MacArthur 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Fumble! Muller tries to fall on it. It looks like he and Fondaro got mixed up and nearly a catastrophic mistake, but Muller was able to fall on it.
I need you just to regroup right now. Yeah, it looks like Muller recovered his own fumble. Got to have a short memory now.
So a loss on that of 3, 2nd and 13 from the 33. Muller pushes forward to about the 38. But again, that clock is starting to become a factor. 5:10 and counting.
Just by the way that on 1st down, you get the fumble. 2nd down and 13, 14, they run just a quarterback trap. I'm thinking in my mind as a coach, this is gonna be 4 downs.
3rd and 8 from the 38. Muller. Another deep run looking. It's intercepted. Napoli was the intended target. It was picked off
by Devin Green. And that was the same play that they had the interference call on. This time Devin Green made a nice play. He's only a sophomore.
Green's a guy who has started all year long He's real good in coverage, and there you see it again. Watch Green. Cuts in front of Napoli. It looks again like an underthrown ball and a big pick. The first of the year, and what a time to get it for Devin Green.
Okay, with only one timeout left, MacArthur's going to have to get a big stop here. Can't give too many first downs, otherwise Mepham will just run it out.
And that's fumbled. It looks like MacArthur recovered. We're waiting for the confirmation. They do! Right after the INT, MacArthur comes up with the football. It's Fundaro.
And it was just a miscommunication between Hunterkamp and Deere.
It's similar to what we just saw a moment ago, right, with Muller, but Muller was able to recover his own.
Well, plenty of time left. 4:24 left in the game. So what does MacArthur do? They got a second life right now. You know, this is a game of second chance. As we said, Mepham's second chance to beat MacArthur after losing in the regular season. Wow. Right now, MacArthur has a second chance after having a turnover.
And essentially all they did was just gain about 30 yards after that interception turned fumble. Muller, though, is eaten up by a host of Pirates.
Great pursuit. And if you watch their pregame, one of the drills that they do is right before they play the game, they do a pursuit drill where they just send a running back towards the sideline and all 11 hats have to go and pursue and touch the ball carrier. We've done that before, but in the pregame, that's awesome. You just saw that come into play right now.
A loss of 2 on first down. 2nd and 12 from the 36-yard line. Muller, keeper, inside, short gain. It's like Mulqueen 6 in on a tackle.
And it's interesting right now, Mepham's playing straight man across the board right now. They're basically putting 7 guys in the box, playing man-to-man, and saying R7 versus your 7 or 8. The safeties and the cornerbacks are not even looking at the ball carrier right now.
Third and 9 from the 33-yard line.
Coming with pressure from the outside.
Muller back to pass, has time, goes over the middle. It's complete to Paypack. He's pulled down inside the 10.
Great route, running a post route. When you're playing straight man-to-man, you cannot give it inside release. It's the most basic thing we try to teach people, but it's one of the hardest things for anybody to do. You're asking somebody to cover a whole field. Great route by Paypack, even a better throw by Muller.
The Generals are in business. 1st and goal from the 6. 2:38 and counting left. Power eye. Napoli. And he's pulled down at about the line of scrimmage. And again, we've called his number a few times. Brendan Morris, 33 with the tackle. Timeout, Mepham. We're going to take it with them as well. 2:17 left. Do not go away. The Orland and Cone Game of the Week here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later. Going long, wide open, Perazi, he gets it, Perazi, foot raise, 10, 5, make it, touchdown, punch, counter punch. The Frickery Ryder gets it back, goes over the top for Haberman, what a catch! Just Ross Simmons strips him, that's loose, and Ross Simmons is going to take this in the other direction, make it, touchdown, touchdown East.
Welcome back to Stewart Stadium at Hofstra University. Dylan Butler, Mike Spina, Orland and Cone game of the week. Nassau Conference 2 semifinals. 2:25 left. It is 2nd and goal from the 5. There goes Napoli, cuts inside a defender, gets a push, continues to push forward, touchdown MacArthur!
Great second effort. Now, what does Coach Fahrenbach do? You're up 1. This should be an automatic go for 2. This is not chasing points. 1 does not help you here. I have to assume he's going for 2. Watch this great block right here. Now, he does that, and I feel bad because Thier has played a great game, and you'll see him on the ground right there. You can't blame that young man for missing that tackle because he really didn't miss it. He just made a great cut.
Fahrenbach gives Muller his instructions. 2:19 left. Here is a very important 2-point conversion. Muller, naked boot, cuts it to the outside, he's in.
And that's all him. That's that stack guy, and it's just a bootleg, and you called it a naked bootleg, just him outrunning the corner.
I like when you give me credit there, Mike. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you deserve the credit on that one. Listen, I cut you off before. So.
There's another look.
Little stiff arm. Big play. 2:19 to go, and now remember, Mepham did call some of their timeouts. I think they have 1 left.
Yeah, they both have a timeout remaining.
Now, here's the difference. The difference is Mepham is accustomed to being in a spread offense playing fast, where MacArthur is not. Now, how much did the defense coordinator, Coach Fazzolari, work on a 2-minute defense where we know Mepham's 2-minute offense has been practicing probably every single day? So this is a very intriguing chess match right now.
We are past 11:30 at night. No winner yet here. It's like election night, right? Too close to call.
Going to be counting votes.
MacArthur back in front, 21-18. 2:19 left. Both teams 1 timeout. Look at this. Find the football. Dunn's got it.
What a tackle by Sarney. That play originated in Texas. My second year at Floral Park, we ran that. It was I forgot what we called it, a star play. 4 guys come together. 1 goes left, 1 goes right. They all come together. They tried to do this before. Remember we said there was a mismatch. 1 goes left, 1 goes right, and then 1 has the ball. They put the ball in the right person's hand, but, Sarney, senior, great tackle. Might have saved the game with that tackle.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Honorkamp back to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Slings it midfield. It's complete. That's Cuccinella with the reception out at the 49-yard line.
Great job by Honorkamp getting outside of the pocket, creating a little bit of extra time for himself. This is going to be an interesting finish.
Good job, too, by Cuccinella to come down with it. 1st and 10 now at the 48. Honorkamp goes long looking for Dunn. Pass interference will be called against MacArthur.
I actually thought that was great defense.
Hogan. I mean, look, that's a ball that's up for grabs,
That's
no?
a 50-50 ball. That's a tough call.
And you could see the reaction now by Fehrenbach and his staff, just absolutely mind-boggling. Look,
both guys have the right to the ball.
I hate, I'm not trying to be that guy, but there's been a few very, very curious calls. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line, 1:47 left. Low snap. Honorkamp. Oof. To the 30. Only a gain of 3 on that play.
Clarkson read that screen very nice. They weren't getting beat by the same play that scored a touchdown before. Plenty of time left, though. 1:30 and moving. They do have a timeout left. They're not in a rush right now. They only need to go 30 yards.
Honorkamp. Look out from the edge. He is sacked. Fondaro.
You know, Coach talks about how he does a great job on squeezing down the run plays. Well, here he comes outside and makes a huge sack.
And the timeout is called, the final timeout, called by Mepham. But Fondaro, yeah, listen, all season long from the edge has done a great job of, squeezing plays down, forcing plays to the inside. And along with Cullen as your bookends, they've done the job all year. Fehrenbach calls Fondaro a guy who is steady as they come. It's funny, of the two edge guys, right, he's the guy who makes what he calls the loud plays. That was a pretty loud play.
That was a very loud play. They're screaming all the way back in Levittown on that one. It would be even louder if that was the last play of the game, but they're still screaming. Yeah, it's a two-play game right now.
So 1:11 on the clock. 3rd and 14 from the 37-yard line. No timeouts left from Mepham, 1 from MacArthur.
You got man coverage down here at the bottom of the screen. One high safety.
Honorkamp, pump fakes, goes long. That's picked off!
It's not Heigl again, is it?
It is!
It's again Heigl. What's that, 6?
James Hagel.
Oh, Hagel, I'm sorry.
Has 6 interceptions against Mepham. Not on the year, not against 9 different opponents, only against Mepham. The Mepham killer, James Hagel.
Should name a sandwich after him in Levittown. Just an overthrow. Had him open, just an overthrow.
Well, my guy Mike Rapoli's got Pirates booty. Well, Hagel's got the Pirates booty right there. Victory formation for MacArthur.
How about the Hagel hoagie?
All right. I like it.
The Hagel hoagie. It's a good question.
What is in that sandwich?
Anything he wants. He has just brought his team to the Nassau County Championship game.
And he's getting hugs. He's getting lifted up on the sideline. James Hagel, 11. What a job he has done today. Well, it was a closer game than the first one, but the final result will be the same as MacArthur. Looks like they're probably one more knee away from making it official. Garden City defeated Cary 52-13. And MacArthur back in the championship game again. It wasn't easy. No one said it would be. But the Generals are marching on to the Nassau Conference 2 Championship. They were there in 2021 in the spring. They lost to Garden City by 7. They were right here at Hofstra in 2019. They lost 16-14 to Garden City. You have to go back to 2015 for their last county title when they beat Wantagh. Garden City has been the juggernaut. They are kind of MacArthur's boogeyman. Well, Hagel and the guys have another chance next week.
That's all you could ask for. Just you want to get a shot at winning a game. And I tell you, what I just saw at the end of the game, the sportsmanship before the lines, is every one of the starters on both teams did not go to their respective lines. They hugged each other. They've played each other so many times, probably since they were playing Pee Wee football. And you could just see the respect that both teams had for each other, and that was evident on the way the two teams played. You saw more people being lifted up, hand shaking and everything else, and it's just two classy organizations playing a great high school football game.
Yeah, congratulations to Bobby Fehrenbach and MacArthur. They improved to 9-1 on the season, and a difficult one to swallow for Mepham as they fall to 7-3. Their season ends at 7-3. So MacArthur goes on to play undefeated Garden City in the championship game, and our broadcast day here at Hofstra, some almost 12 hours. They're turning the lights off. Let's get out of here. Completely dark. I think I'm hoping that's a timer situation as we have gone dark at Stewart Stadium. You don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here.
If I didn't have practice, I think I'd bring my pillow and
stairs. Nick Costi here to my left as well. Terrific job directing. Ben Turchin, of course, didn't bring you the sandwich, but has still done a great job as well. And, of course, Mike Spina, we appreciate you as well for bringing us here to the finish line. Once again, the final score in the dark here in Hempstead. MacArthur 21, Mepham 18. Dylan Butler here for the Varsity Media Sports Network. What a matchup we had for you. It's the Orland and Cone game of the week. It has lived up to its billing. Have a good night, everyone.